get started.
Hello, and this is Ben Perkins introducing Ethan Pilon for this audiobook of The Great Gazebo by Jeremy Paul, which is brought to you by Paiza Publications. That is Pizaa Publications.
Chapter 1. A Yellow Tail. Julian walked in the warm breeze of the summer. He could feel the sand on his feet. This was often a comfort to him. As he lived in the city, he did not have much time to go to the ocean. Most days he would spend hours just gazing into the sunset. However, he could not stay there the entire day, as the entirety of the trip was not meant to be spent by the sea. He was a young fellow, and he was abroad for the summer in the countryside of Spain. And what he would do every evening after he got home from the seashore was he would go to the local shop. He would get a few of his favorite goodies, such as bread, wine, chips, and then he would go to the gazebo. At the gazebo, he knew many people, because this was no ordinary gazebo. This was the town gazebo. The town of Palmas in Spain set up this gazebo long ago. It was to commemorate the great Mark Wahlberg for his achievements in the area. It was an average sized gazebo, but it was not the gazebo. It was not the wood that made the gazebo special. It was the people. The gazebo stood as the keystone of the town. Here, Julian would meet many people that he knew. Old friends, new friends, good friends, bad friends. And he would learn a lot about himself through these people. Many of his friends knew nothing of what he spoke of, and he taught them. And many of his friends, he would not have a clue what they're saying, and he learned about what they were saying. Many of his friends, though, would go on and on, so Julian just stopped listening at some point. Some people adored what Julian said, too, and they would listen for hours and hours. Like Jesus Christ once said, "It is not what I could do, it's what you could do." Chapter 2. The Walking Man. One day when Julian was walking along the beach, he met a fellow. His name was James Cameron. He and James Cameron had a long talk that day. They talked about many things: life, friendship, honor, fortitude, justice. Many of these things sparked Julian's mind. Especially about what is life. Julian went home that evening, and he had many vivid dreams about life. One in particular was about him and a baboon. And what the baboon did in that dream, he was almost like a human, that baboon. He walked like a human, he talked like a human, and Julian had a conversation with the baboon. His name, the baboon, Julian told him, was Barre. The baboon named Barre was very peculiar. because he had never met a baboon. No one ever thinks about knowing what a baboon was. And it is especially different because the baboon seems so human-like. I mean, in the dream, Julian was just driving the car, and he stopped, and then the baboon came up to his car, opened the door, and walked in. He had a conversation with the baboon, and it was about his friend. He said that the baboon's friend was in trouble. He did not know what to do. So Julian, being a nice person, he said, maybe I can help him. And at that point, Julian woke up. He was awakened by a loud noise. His mother falling down the stairs. This day was not a good day for Julian, because his mother was very mad as she fell down the stairs. She had to be communicated with a walkie-talkie to Julian to wake him up. Julian woke up at very early times, as of 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Julian was not happy. Julian had to walk to the stairs and say to his mother that he was alright. And it begins. Chapter 2. Chapter 3. The Runner. Another day, Julian was running along the beach. He tripped on a seashell, and he came upon the seashell, and there were a writing inscribed in it. It was peculiar because the words "berry" were inscribed into the seashell. This was ghastly to Julian because Barry, the baboon, was just seen by him last night. No one knows why or how the seashell got the inscriptions, but this irked Julian many times over.
So he went back to the gazebo to his friends
So
to ask.
later that day, he went back to the gazebo and asked about the seashell and if they knew anything about a man named Barre.
Surely.
To his surprise, one person did know.
Surely. That's the name.
The woman's name was Laura.
Surely.
Laura Shirley. Laura said that about 100 years ago, there was a mayor named Barre. He was a kind mayor. He often would go down to the seashore and he would throw rocks, skipping rocks along the water. He would often do this as a way of relaxing. From there, no one knows what happened, because one day, Barre, the mayor,
Disappeared
just disappeared.
with his name.
He was walking along the seashore. This is the last time we saw him.
Maybe
After that,
took him away.
nobody knows. Chapter 4.
The curse of the seashell.
The Curse of the Seashell. As Julian was sleeping,
A great voice.
a great voice appeared to him. It was about the seashell.
And it was in
It was in the Book of Belmont that he remembered a verse from it. And the verse spoke to him. It said, "Thou who holds the seashell
shall be hunted.
holds the world,
And shall be hunted.
because it is between him and the world that the seashell lies. Neither living nor dead can fear. However, They can fear the seashell. For the seashell brings life and death. The seashell knows all. Julian woke up the next morning
To find that his father was dead.
to find that his gerbil, Jemima, was dead. This made Julian question his knowings. He remembered the verse that spoke to him last night. And he questioned why. Why? Why, God?
Why seashell?
Why is the seashell so important? And that was Julian's objective now. His life motto was the seashell.
To find out.
Chapter 5. The Lights.
Scattered lighthouse.
He woke up early in the morning the next day. He could not sleep. He kept on getting visions of the seashell and Bao He decided to go for another walk along the ocean.
He saw some lights in the distance on the water.
There were seashore lights along the distance of the beach. He would look at each when he went by. These short poles carried these blue, fluorescent, magnificent bright white lights. Back in America, Julian never saw such a bright light. The beauty of it was different. It was like looking at a starry night in the middle of summer.
And it was summer.
In the city of Chicago, Julian never had the luxury of looking at such beauty.
Which is where he lived before.
The next morning, Julian went to the gazebo once again,
It saw the same lights.
and he saw the same lights. This time,
They disappeared.
they disappeared. He was bamboozled by this. He did not know why these lights kept appearing. Was it from Barry? Was it from Bao? Or was it another source? He went down to the town library and he found a book. The book was by
Memoirs of a Natural Assassin.
Gary Cooper,
Gary Cooper, I like it.
and it was about Spedlimites, which translates modern day from Arabic to English as speed limits.
Please slow down.
And Julian was interested in this book because he did not know much about speed. What is speed? The seashell may have the answers to speed, or the speed might have the answer to the seashell.
But this book would clarify.
He must find out the answer. So he went and began to read the book. Chapter 6. Marco's Tide. His best friend, Marco Agruso. He woke up the next morning to find himself dead. This was a blow to Julian, because his best friend was now dead in the ocean. Chapter 7. Buildings standing in front.
Podcast.
As he went to school every morning, he walked by some place
With the seashell.
with the seashell named Barry. And the funny part though, he looked to the right and he saw construction. It was Pope Bowery High School, he looked like. This was really interesting, because Barry was still looking for Bowery of the seashell. This high school was still in construction though, and has been for the last 6 years. He was wondering when this high school was going to be built. He was wondering what Bowery had to do with this. So, Chapter 7. Harry and Patrick.
In the mud.
Sister Marlene was nearby the area. And she found Julian. They struck up a conversation about Bowery. And she left.
To go to the gazebo?
Chapter 8. The end. Thank you. This has been a reading by Ethan Pelon for the Prestwick House. All considerations go towards the Center Theater Group. It is out of Los Angeles. Did you know that the Center Theater Group is the oldest in operation today? We can trace our roots back to the Chumash tribe out of Los Angeles. That's over 800 years of history. This makes us the oldest theater group in operation today. We pride ourselves on this fact. All considerations made by Visa, Estrella, Tommy Hilfiger, Nike, and Bose. Thank you for your listening. Goodbye.
And that was Ethan Pelon. And I hope you enjoy your night, your wine, and your cheese and crackers. We got that red night, that red light, oh, red. It's red all around. Oh my God, your helmet's red.
I know, bro. I'm the one that bought it.
Whoa, this house isn't red. Wow.
That's weird.
Thanks a lot, house. One way Sunday, 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wheeler Ave. Of course, you can only go on the street if you got them wheels, you know? Like this kid. This kid's got wheels. Get it? Because that's not what I'm really talking about. It's funny. Fucking laugh.
Ha!